So, Coach, you're moving into a new facility this year. What do you think that means for the program? What do you think for you guys?
You know, hopefully it's a sign of things to come. You know, just looking back and reflecting back on the 18 months that our coaching staff has been here with this particular group. You know, we've tried hard to maintain the traditions of Penn State University athletics, but we've also tried to just grow and have a bigger sense and larger dreams into the future. And, you know, just having that stadium, I think will give us a little bit more identity. You know, we played on 3 different sites last year, the indoor site, the Bigler outdoor turf, and Jeffrey Field. And I never felt like we had a home field identity or a home field advantage. So being able to practice now is much more comforting for our guys. And then we'll see this weekend's our home opener against Michigan, and I think it'll be a neat way to christen that particular facility against the team, you know, in the Big Ten with likeness of Penn State. So hopefully, as the stadium continues to grow, the program will continue to grow, and we'll be symbolic of one another.
And how have you seen the program grow in your second year now with the team?
You know, it's minor steps, but I certainly feel, you know, coming into this year, the understanding of our overall mission in the community, in the classroom, and on the field has certainly taken much more shape this year. You know, I credit our guys that they have taken a lot of the leadership roles on themselves this year. I felt like last year it was always coming from the coaches more so than the players, just trying to get to know one another. This year they've done a wonderful job of really reaching out in the community and trying to create more awareness for our sport. As much as we're trying to grow the program, we're also trying to help grow the sport in this community, and they've done a wonderful job in our outreach, doing a better job in the classroom and on the field. Again, it's a work in progress, but I feel like the understanding of the schemes, offense and defense, are there. We just need to do a little bit better job of just executing, and hopefully that will come over time.
Coach, what does the new facility do for recruiting, being able to show recruits that, you know, you haven't played in the place?
Yeah, you can talk all you want about what you think you're going to look like into the future as a coach or as a team. And we had designs about what we thought it was going to look like. But once that facility goes in there and people start to see the commitment that our university has made to lacrosse, knowing that it's a men's and women's program, I think it speaks volumes, much more than we can articulate as coaches, about the commitment of our university and about the future of the lacrosse program. So when these recruits and their families take a look at it, I think they realize how serious Penn State is about growing the sport and about men's and women's lacrosse. And, you know, I think at this point, you know, we've been talking to 15 and 16-year-old sophomores right now who come up, and their eyes are open wide when they see that facility. And I think once we get the stands in there and develop that second and third phase, it's going to help considerably having those kinds of options to compete against the schools that we want to compete against out there in Division I lacrosse.
Austin, you had a breakout year last year. How are you hoping to follow that up with?
Just gotta go to the practice field and keep working hard. I mean, last year coming in as a freshman, I think I had an advantage because no one really had any film on me to scout like my weaknesses and everything else. That my technique, Coach Zambroni coming in worked on my technique and really made me to what I was last year. And I mean, the defense worked hard and helped me a lot of the way through, giving up the shots that I could see and make the saves on, and not giving up a lot of inside shots. So, I mean, I just have to keep working hard, and as a defense as a whole, we have to keep working hard to get better.
You're part of a young team. You guys have a lot of upperclassmen, not many seniors. What do you think that makeup of the team really means for you guys?
It's a future outlook. I mean, I know we're just working hard as of right now, but I mean, we have to build the younger players into the program right now. I mean, we have to make sure they know the defense, work hard, and just keep working hard.
Austin, speaking of the younger guys, the freshmen on the team this year, you were in their shoes just last year, so how would you rate them so far and how they're adjusting?
I think it was a lot easier to adjust this year because coming in last year, we have a whole new coaching staff, and the upperclassmen were built on a different aspect of the game. The old coaches had a different way of playing, and coming in with the new coaches, everything changed. Our style of play changed, and it was harder to adjust last year. But this year, with the younger players, having the upperclassmen already been in the program for a year and knowing everything that they know, just help them grow and understand the information more, because we can teach them as well as the coaches.
Coach, what do you learn about your team over the weekend?
Well, I think at this point, there are certain key areas that we're going to have to do a great job with if we're going to compete with teams like North Carolina and teams of their likeness, those teams that are in the top 5 or 6 in the program, and possession time is certainly one of them. We're not built at this point to be a team that comes from behind against those types of teams. And possession time was completely lopsided. We had 21 possessions. They had, I think, 37 or 38 possessions, and when you're playing a team of that caliber, you're just not going to win a lot of games there. Having said that, there were some young kids that played very well for us. I mean, we were very impressed with the freshman trio that start for us defensively, J.P. Burnside, Jack Donnelly, Michael Richards. So, we were pleased there. We also learned that we got to get a little bit more production out of our attack if we're going to take the next step. It's a group that we have some maturity there. All 3 kids have played over the last year or so. We just need to continue to keep pushing right there at the the attack position to have a little bit more balance in the offense. But I think if we can do that, it was a good lesson learned at the appropriate time in the year. First game of the year with 13 games left. We're hopeful that we'll just buckle back down today at practice and do a good job of focusing on Michigan, but with the idea that we're not that far off, but unfortunately when we came out of the game, I didn't think we probably felt as a team and as a staff we weren't as close as we were hoping at that point in the year.
What's the identity?
We'd like to think it's just a blue-collar, hard-working, team-first kind of a mentality. There are certain days that I think we would question that when we finish practice or finish games, but again, it's a work in progress. And the mentality of the team, the mentality of the team and the players, I think looks inward at one another versus themselves much more this year than last year. I know practices are much more competitive this year than they were last year, so we're trying to create an identity similar to Penn State and Penn State athletics, one that cares more about their teammates, more about their team, and it goes out with a blue collar like mentality. And I think that over the last 18 months, it has developed, and I believe that each and every day these guys take more of that personality to the field, and I think success will follow.
It's your second year as a coach. How much is the program moving in the direction you want it to go?
It's night and day from this point this year to last year at that exact point. And, there was just so many changes for myself as a coach, for each and every one of these players. I look back 18 months from now. That's when I first started, and it's completely different. So, and I've used this a number of times. It's that first year, it's basically a wash in a lot of different ways because the relationships are just starting to form and just starting to develop. Until you go through a first year and reflect on what happened, you really don't have a genuine relationship with one another that's meaningful enough to create the success into the future. That foundation, though, will be essential. And it's something that we'll stand on right now. And as I look back now as to where we are, and I just feel like we're miles ahead of where we were. Not necessarily goals scored, defense played as much as just we are in terms of who we are, kind of the mantra of our program, taking better care of our teammates, doing a better job in the community, but doing a better job in the classroom. Those things, there's a sense of identity, and the leadership from our seniors on down have just done a much better job at this point with the understanding and now execution.
Just looking ahead to your schedule, what games are you looking forward to most?
I'm hoping they're looking forward to all of them. Right now, we talked to our team about this. We said this is phase one. We're in phase one right now. The best anybody in the locker room's ever been is 2-3 through the first 5 games, and that signifies the first 5 games of out-of-conference games. And then UMass, the 6th game, will start our conference, the CAA. So our goal is to what we said to our guys is to win Phase 1. That's what we started in our first meeting in January, that we wanted to win Phase 1, which is have a better record than we've ever had with anybody in that locker room. If we can go 3-2 or 4-1, we'll feel like we've accomplished that goal, and that'll be against some pretty good competition. So I think that would be a great start for us. So I'm hoping each and every opponent will be something that's going to excite our guys. But I don't know, maybe from a player's perspective, you get something different.
Yeah, I mean, just what Coach said. It just got to look at it one game at a time. I mean, we work throughout all the weeks. From next week to the next week, you start one week, work the first game. Didn't work out too well. Didn't play to our capability this past weekend, but now it's focused on Michigan this weekend at home, our home opener, hopefully on our new field. But you just got to work at it 1 week at a time and work hard throughout the week.
Austin, how did facing the strong attacks of UNC and Johns Hopkins in the exhibition game, how are those helping you grow as a goalie?
As a goalie, I mean, having those good shooters, it'll make any goalie grow. I mean, because you got to learn they can mix up their shots better than average players. I mean, they're the best players recruited in the country. As of right now, they were. But ranked going in, they were the best attack ranked being recruited. And it just helps the defense as well as me grow. I mean, having those players, having our freshmen laden defense, and having 3 freshmen starting on defense play against those players makes them grow. Just playing those good players, having to do the things that they have to do and put up with, makes them grow as players.
You guys have goals as a team? Like, what are your team goals?
Yeah, I would say it's probably more simplistic goals, not so much quantifying wins and losses. I mean, I know it may sound cliche, but just reaching potential of our team in those 3 areas, the community, the classroom, and on the field. So, for us, we try to look back and ask ourselves, and it's at the end of the day whether or not you gave your best effort or not, and that's on a daily basis. And at the end of the year, we got to ask ourselves, was it a meaningful journey? Did we invest all this time into something that created meaning, not just for a scoreboard or a record, but the way we conducted ourselves in every facet along the way, try to grow as young men, try to grow as a team to believe in something, far bigger or stronger than yourself, and hopefully create memories for a lifetime. These young men are creating the foundation for which we hope will last a lifetime, and I'm hopeful that those goals, we talk about the gold standard, creating a gold standard, become their goals. Not so much we want to win a national championship this year, next year, or 3 years down the line. I think that would be a little short-sighted of us in our parental role as coaches to create guidelines like that. Now, along the way, I'd be lying if I said we didn't want to win conference championships or national championships, but the goal of just the blend of the way these young men prepare and the feeling that they have when they graduate has been our mission since day one when we walked on campus, and it will continue to be as we go through. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.